It's your buddy Drew from Living History's Mysteries and the Midwest Parahistoric Society. Number one, I would like to apologize to everybody for canceling our Wednesday night live stream. We had some things happen within the group yesterday, and it really left me, well, I'll be honest, it left me in a hurtful place. I didn't really want to communicate all that much. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be heard. Over the night, last night, and call it what you will, call it an intuition, call it a message from beyond, call it a dream. I wanted to do something a little different for today's video. So often we show these videos of these other investigations of urban legends or myths or lore. But what about the individuals? What about the people who go through these unexplainable situations? And that's what I wanted to look at today. I wanted to look at one individual that has gone through this kind of situation. And depending upon how well this is taken, how well it's accepted, we may do more in the future. Few minor changes with the channel, nothing big, just going to make it more exciting, more fun. But stay tuned after the main part of the video when I'm going to talk about my own experiences. And maybe, just maybe, people will understand why I do what I do just a little bit more. Stay tuned.
Moments in their life that defines them, like whether it's an early memory or just kind of like a tragic event. For me, and it's going to sound really spoiled, mine's Disney World. As a child, I was very fortunate, I guess, that I was quite spoiled. After my mum had me and Louise and I became an only child and she couldn't have any more kids, I kind of got all the attention. So, yeah, Florida, villa, Disney World was pretty good. We had this really big villa. I think it has something like 5 bedrooms. But what is most prominent in my mind of the place was how it had this big, like a glass greenhouse over the indoor pool. And the pool had these like fake rocks around it. And it was all this one depth, and like I knew not to go into it because I wasn't the strongest swimmer. But then there was a big archway behind it which led to the kitchen. And I remember this really strongly because my parents were sitting in the kitchen at this time. It would have been the afternoon, probably about 2. And they were stood there making food. And I was stood there just staring at the blue covering. And I just looked them dead in the eyes, and it was just a moment of, Mum and Dad, look at me, look what I can do. Something just compelled me to leap and run across it. Except I didn't run across it, I just sank like a rock. I just fell straight into it. And it just started engulfing me. the plastic just sticks to you, and it's warm and it's humid, and you try to take these deep breaths, and you just feel this deep pressure on your chest and your lungs. You can't breathe, and at the same time it feels like your lungs should be filling with this water, and there's just nothing. All I could taste and smell was that synthetic plastic blue. Well, they don't no one seems to talk about, like, drowning is when you go under, you can hear everything, and it's kind of like you're a world away, but you can still hear. You can hear your heart just racing, and you feel the sweat, and you're kind of like boiling in this freezing cold coating. And then I could just feel and hear the heartbeat. It's strange how it sits in your head, that the dumps and just the thumping, and then eventually it just stops. Everything kind of warms up, and you're just there. And then next thing I know, I'm at the hospital, and it's surrounded by blue, and it was the same blue, the blue walls. From what I gathered from the situation, I don't really remember the bit in between. When my mum is a nurse, she must have revived me on the side of the pool. They did manage to get me out. When I came round, my dad had a lot of stitches in the side of his head. I'm assuming him being him wasn't as quick on his feet as he'd hoped to be. So as I was coming round, I heard my mum, like, hushing, I guess. It's the same sound you make for, like, wounded horses or animals. You just calm them with a Nothing really felt the same after that. Like, I woke up and it was kind of like being in another body. And as I've got older, I've realised that is a sign of oxygen deprivation, and I was dead for 2 minutes and 3 seconds. To be honest, the things started adding up, the little bits. Like, I couldn't be near this. It's that blue. It sounds stupid, but it was just everywhere. Like, who has these bright blue, synthetic-looking cars? I would see like 10 of them in a day. Like, you know, grey, silver, red, whatever. But this blue? It's just me being a bit paranoid, I guess. I'd wake up not scared, but kind of disorientated, and it was always at 2:03. And I know, like, you can get into these habits and stuff. It's like when you wake up just before your alarm goes off and that. But then I would just hear the hushing, and I could just hear my mum again, and she's just even when I went to uni, like, my dorm room was 203, and I can't be turning around to people going, oh, I can't stay there because like, it's 203, because I don't want to be the weird girl. And then there were stupid things like the songs. I would be singing a song, and then it would be on the radio, and I would literally turn it on, it would be in the exact same spot, and it's so stupid, but it's kind of like a glitch in the Matrix. But then again, I thought, maybe I'm just losing my mind, and maybe I need to confront some past trauma. That might help me. So I went to my mum's and my dad's. I asked my mum, I said, oh, the 2001 holiday, where are the photos for it? So I asked her for these photos and she just laughed. And she acted like she had no clue. She was like, what are you on about? We never went on holiday. And I'm sat there like, are you just going senile? And I asked my dad, and he says, well, no, there was no Florida holiday. We booked it in 2001, but the 9/11 attacks happened that day. We were supposed to fly at 6 o'clock in the evening, and the first plane hit at 2:03 UK time, so we never went. We thought I'd lost it. So it got me thinking, got me searching. I went through everything. I couldn't possibly be losing my fucking mind. I went through the photos. Nothing. But then there's this girl in a photo. She looks just like me. But she's not me. Because I'd never dye my hair fucking red. And there she is. With red hair. So that night, I stayed over, slept on the couch, didn't really feel comfortable sleeping upstairs in a room that maybe isn't even mine. I chat to my mum on it and she's just like, oh no, you had red hair like when you were younger, blah blah blah. And not only have I now got this memory that isn't mine, I'm being told that there's this stuff that is mine and that I did that. I noticed something. It's very little, it's very minute. But she had a freckle. Here. I always remember it because I used to laugh when I was little and say, oh, it's your beauty spot because you're so beautiful. You know, like, when you look at twins and you get to know them so well that, like, they look identical, but you can just tell, and, like, when one walks in, you just know who's who. And that's the same with her. Could just tell that wasn't her. Try to bring it up into conversation. Try to bring up the redhead girl in the picture. They laughed and they're like, of course, you dyed your hair in school, blah blah blah. I think I know what I did, and sounds insane, but I didn't fucking dye my hair. So I tried to chat to my dad. The scar's gone. He always had the scar from the holiday, and it's like the moment I bring this up, like the moment they know that I know about the holiday, everything starts changing. It was just too much, and I thought I would just let it go. Like, that is the thing. I'm overthinking it, and I'll let it go, and I left. So it brings us to the birthday. Big birthday bash. So as I said, my family's always been very close, family orientated, always with my cousins and my uncles and my aunts. And my mum's favourite thing in the world is my surprise birthday. Even as an adult, they still happen. I show up and I pretend to be surprised, and it's just an excuse to get everyone together because my birthday's near no one else's. So I make the decision to go to the birthday. And I have this inkling that that's not my mum. That's not my dad. But I'm probably crazy. so I thought, at least. I tried really hard to just pretend like it was normal. You had Uncle Tom there, who was like drunk off his face, and you know what, it was only probably, 1:45 by that point. There was not really an excuse for it. Uncle Tom was there like, oh, happy birthday, and like people, and I had my cousin who was just like, happy birthday, and then Alex came over, and he said, happy birthday, Louise. She's been dead for years. It was fucking disrespectful, and he sat there saying, happy birthday, Louise. My fucking stillborn twin, happy birthday, Louise. And then it's like everyone's staring at me whilst I'm getting fucking pissed off, and then Mum's coming over and she's just doing the stupidness of hush, hush. It's the same sound. And why is everyone saying Louise, and then it's just like, oh, but you look just so much like her. And it's just there. She walks through the door. It's me. She walks through the door, and everyone's there going, happy birthday surprise. Someone who looks like me. Someone who talks like me, who's smiling like me, but with this red hair. She's dead. She's been dead for years, and it's just me walking through the door, but with fucking red hair. And it just kind of made sense. This woman wasn't my mother. This man wasn't my dad. And then there's me. You know what? I just panicked. I realized this wasn't my reality. She shouldn't be there, because she is not a person, and she does not exist. I snapped. Just ran at her. I just wrapped my hands around her neck, and I just squeezed, and I squeezed. It was just as fake as them. And I guess that's what brought me here. The moment they knew that I knew about the pool, about everything, that I knew that this wasn't my fucking world, that this was not the place I was supposed to be, and I don't know if it's the dreams or what leads me into this gateway. But that's what brings me here, Doctor. Yeah, I regret it. Should have held it together a little bit longer, and maybe I could have got out of it, but I guess this is how you replace me. Just the same way you replaced them.
Welcome back, guys and gals. You know, like I said, the experiences of the individual go so much deeper than the story as a whole. A Bigfoot sighting, a dogman sighting, other unexplained cryptids, hauntings. My own experience is hard to explain. I grew up around paranormal activity, 150 plus year old homes that started off as a one-room cabin that still existed inside the walls of the main room. Old roadhouses down in Marion, Indiana. on the main road that serviced from Fort Wayne, Indiana to Indianapolis, Indiana. They started off as plank roads, dirt roads. Old roadhouse I lived in was haunted by the original owner, who was shot and killed by two outlaws that stopped looking for a little cover from a storm one night back in 1885. Like I said, I grew up in a house that had paranormal activity. 3 people in 150 years died in that home. 1 old man starved to death. 2 young girls committed suicide. I've always had that connection to the paranormal, and that was one of the main reasons that I started Living History's Mysteries and our paranormal investigations 2 years ago. The other big reason was back in 2016 when I was suddenly hit with diabetes without any forewarning, without any symptoms. I had just gotten married at the end of June, and by the end of the first week of July, I was in the hospital in a coma after dying twice on my new wife. And when I started to go under a third time, that's when they medically induced a coma. I have talked to psychologists, psychiatrists. I have talked to witches. I have talked to shamans. I have talked to mediums. And every one of them agree that when you pass away and you cross over and you come back a different person. You come back with a better understanding of what sits on the other side. And many people ask me, what did I see? What did I hear? I heard a hum, and I saw a black void. But ever since that time when I came out of that coma 10 days later, and my best friend and my new wife were sitting there beside me, I was different. I felt different. I saw things different. I had a connection to the other side. Things came to me easier. I heard things easier. I saw things easier. And it took me 3 years from that point to start Living History's Mysteries. And then took me another 2 years to start putting together the Midwest Parahistoric Society, because I wanted the best group of people to come together and seek out that proof, that evidence, without any alteration, without adding anything, without throwing in that extra dramatic stuff you see on TV. Many, many times we have been accused of over-dramatizing or faking evidence. And I'm here to tell you right now, there has not been a single bit of trickery. There has not been a single falsified anything. What you guys see in our videos is exactly what we experience there at the site, on the spot, at that time. We're going to continue to bring these great investigations. We're going to continue to bring these great videos. We might even throw in some live streams so you guys can see right there what we're seeing. Who knows? Maybe working together as a whole, as one group, all of us, the world over, maybe we can finally provide the proof and the evidence of that afterlife. Best we can do is try. But that's all I got for you guys today. As always, be true to yourselves. Be true to each other. Take care. God love you. God bless you. We do. And happy hunting.